if you could go back to the start of your career and whisper any words of advice in your ear, is there anything you would tell your former kind of younger self?
Totally. I was thinking about this question. Um, the further I am, so did you go to like design school or no?
No,
No,
self-taught.
self-taught. Okay, so and you're not alone. There's plenty of like self-taught designers, but there's also a lot of like designers that go to design school. And I think um, every designer when they talk to you about being a designer, and there's this idea of portfolio, right? And portfolio is the output. It's the visual output of all the stuff that we do. And we obsess over that, right? And early in my career, I think it was all about, how is this going to look in my portfolio? Is this piece of work good enough to be in my portfolio? Even when I was at Facebook, I was like, I want to make sure that this is like everything I do. I'm like, is this good enough for me to put on my website and say this is, I want to show my life's work. Will this meet that bar for life's work? And the reality is when I look back at my experiences, I cannot for the life of me tell you like if about the output of the work that we did, but I can absolutely tell you about the relationships I built at those companies and the like memories of the things that we did together. And a lot of it was around the work, um, but a lot of it wasn't. And so I think for me, it's like don't obsess over the output as much as who are you around, and what's the impact of the work that you're having. Because I think too much designers are kind of being told to just focus on kind of and even I said like the craft, right? But it's like when you look at the people who are doing great work, a lot of it is like uh, it's collaborative, it has impact, and what they remember is kind of the environment. For me, at least, like it's the environment and the experience
Hmm.
that we had together. And so I think as designers, we're just too, yeah, I would tell myself, hey, like, don't forget to just kind of step back and kind of revel in the people that are around you, the experiences you're having, and actually like make time for those experiences. Make time to go spend time with the people you're working with, make time to stay up really late with the people you're working with, make time to do those silly shenanigan-y things. And actually, and lately I've been thinking a lot about like this remote work thing that we're all going into, and basically like how much that's taken away from people, right? It's like everyone's like, it's so much more efficient. Well, guess what? Like work is not just about like doing things efficiently. And again, that's the designer in me, right? The designer in me is like, what is the employee experience? And so the business people are like, this is great. We're getting like, 17% more efficiency. That was at first. But now we're actually finding that the efficiency gains are not there. Guess why? Because it's not as fun, it's not as interactive, it's not as engaging, right? All of a sudden now efficiency is falling off a cliff. While as a designer, I could have told you from day one that this would happen. And so I think that to me, it's like I would have gone back to myself and just say like, hey, take them, celebrate those moments and kind of make time for more of those moments, and because that's the stuff you'll really remember.
I think it's so well said, and it makes me think of it's like your work is almost backwards looking. That's what you get to keep after you leave the place, or it's what you take away. It's some, I don't know, it's some proof that you were there and you did some things. But the relationships are what will make you a better person, a better designer, a better thinker, a better leader 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months from now. It's all of those things. And they take time. It takes time for those things to kind of for you to process them and for that to kind of surface in who you are and the way you show up in the world. But I think it's incredibly well said.
Yeah, no, maybe another
Love that
like
note.
a clarification. I remember like my first job, it was at an agency, and all of us were basically pitted one against the other. So the agency was
It's common.
so this is the
It's common in
antithesis of it.
agencies.
Yeah, so they basically a client would say, "Hey, I need a new website," and like three of us would design, and the best site wins, right? And so three designers would go off on their own, and if you win, if your thing was like this the thing that the client wanted, it's like you won. Well, like what is that? Like what experience is that, right? That's like, and it's almost like building relationships there was you almost felt like, well, I don't, why would these are my competitors in the company. They're your competitors because we're all competing, for the client to choose our thing. And so like that was like one of my first experiences, right? And to go from that to like what Facebook and Designer Fund is, was ultra collaborative. It's like, if you do well, we all do well. And that's what we're trying to like even go lean into. And same as a fund, as a firm, like it's easy to be like, okay, well, if we do, in most funds, like it's mostly the partners that if they do well, like the partners do well. For Enrique and I, it's like, how do we make it so if Designer Fund does well, the entire design ecosystem does well, hundreds of designer angels do well, thousands of design leaders do well. That for us is like the success beyond just the returning 3-5x to our LPs. And we actually believe like it's not only are those things at odds with each other, we actually think if we do those things well, if we serve the design ecosystem well at scale, if we serve the VC ecosystem with design at scale well, the returns actually will follow, and even be better if we do that well.